Right now, it's Radio Rahim reporting from City Hall. We're going to move in on the press conference.
I'm going to introduce Councilman Charles Barron, but the Freedom Party support continues to grow. People are continuing to come on board. People have always been with us in their heart. People have always wished us well. People wanted to see how this was going to grow, and it has grown with such enthusiasm, such momentum, that more and more people are stepping up to be a part of it and to help move it forward and move us toward the victories that we anticipate, that we expect on November 2nd. And so I want you to hear directly from Councilman Barron, and then from anyone else who you might want to hear from, who is also here to endorse us. I think I mentioned a number of people who are here: blacks in law enforcement, community organizations, civic organizations, professional organizations, and individuals representing the spectrum of support that has begun to gather close around the Freedom Party candidate, Councilman Charles Barron.
Freedom Party! 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 Thank you very much. Let's give our manager Bob Law a big hand. We are 4 days away from victory, 4 days away and counting all over the state. I want to say that Attorney Alton Maddox, as we speak, has traveled to Buffalo, and we found out that we got the endorsement of the Buffalo Challenger in Buffalo, New York. So he's also going to Syracuse, to Rochester, to Albany, to Ithaca, so that we can solidify our support around the state. So the Freedom Party is on the move. I want to thank Bishop Huey Rogers from the Greater Bible Way Temple, an endorsement. I want to thank Reverend Mark Taylor from the Church of the Open Door, an endorsement. Thank you so much. We are moving this party forward, and we believe strongly that we will be victorious on November 2nd. So y'all come for the celebration, because this state will never be the same again. And I want to thank the Amsterdam News. A lot of people heard that they endorsed Mario Cuomo, but if you read the endorsement, and see what they said about me and what they said about him, I would take a non-endorsement in that language any day. That was a person who got slammed and then endorsed, and a person who didn't get endorsed was lifted up by the Amsterdam News. And not only in that endorsement, I certainly want to thank the editor of the Amsterdam News, Sister Naya, for all of the coverage that our campaign got. And the Amsterdam News really helped put our campaign on the map. We want to thank Imhotep Gary Bird for all of the time. We also want to thank Gil Noble for the times that we were on Like It Is Open Line, and for Our Time Press and all of the media that attention they gave us. We want to thank the Black Star News who endorsed us. We thank the Black Star News. So people complain about the black media sometimes, and Nana Camille Yarborough on her program supporting us. We complain about the black press, but the black press stepped to the plate for the Freedom Party, and we want to thank them. While the white media was covering these two non-candidates that they called the major candidates, did you see the major candidates flop at the debate? I won that debate. I won that debate. We were so outstanding that they had to flip out and project some other madness just to cover up our victory. They know that Cuomo fell flat.
Yes, he did.
Palladino went to the bathroom, and I am personally going to make a citizen's arrest of Palladino for impersonating a candidate. I've never seen a so-called major candidate flop so badly. If Palladino were black, they would have arrested him that night. Here's Reverend Mark Taylor. Let's give him a big hand. So I just want to say that this campaign has been phenomenal. We started 3-4 months ago, and look where we are now. We're on the brink of making history. We're on the brink of saying to this state that New York State politics will never be the same again. And we're going to make sure to that by keep building this movement forward. No other party is going to talk about the issues that we're talking about. No other candidate in these major parties will tax the rich. They won't do it. They're going to balance the budget off our backs. No other candidate is going to talk about free tuition in CUNY, free textbooks. No other candidate is going to talk about abolishing the MTA and looking at all of these other authorities that should not exist. No other candidate is going to talk about freeing our political prisoners. We have too many brothers and sisters languishing in these jails that have been there 30 and 40 years. Free our political prisoners. No other party is going to talk about that. Nobody's going to talk about reparations. It's time for us to get paid. They owe us a debt. You can't work us for 246 years and say forget about it. We're a party that's going to take race on squarely. They don't want to talk about race. Well, racism permeates every institution in this state. They don't want to talk about race, but they allow Cuomo to have an all-white state slate and say nothing. He wanted an all-white debate, but we wouldn't let that happen. And you see why, because he fell flat on his face. So we say to our people, you can still be a Democrat and vote for the Freedom Party. You don't have to lose your Democratic status. Secondly, you should never blindly vote for anyone. You have to have vision. You have to have courage. This is the age of the educated voter. They're not going for it anymore. You can try to say, we got to stop Palladino. Just like you said, we got to stop Giuliani. We got to stop Bush. And when the Democrats get in, we have a Democratic president. We have a Democratic U.S. Senate. We have a Democratic U.S. House of Representatives. We have a Democratic governor. We have a Democratic state senate. We have a Democratic House, State Assembly. We have a Democratic City Council, and we got 60% black male unemployment, and we got foreclosures in our communities, and we got crime in the Farragut houses in my East New York because you don't want to put money in to deal with that. We don't need more police, more prisons, tougher sentence. We need more money coming into our neighborhoods for youth centers. We need our schools built up. I went to one of my schools where I had to put in $150,000. Now they got smart boards in every class, they got computers in every class, and they're learning by way of fun because the smart boards are fun for them to learn. Let's finance our schools. No longer are we going to allow for this public school, charter school battle to go on. There's nothing magical about what it takes to teach children. You have to have teachers that know how and want to teach. You need smaller class sizes. You have to have a culturally relevant curriculum. Get Black history mandated in the curriculum across this state. You must have principals that can teach teachers how to teach instead of dealing with all the paperwork. The principal should have a business manager. Every teacher should have a paraprofessional in the classroom. Smart boards, science labs, libraries that are up to date, and every school should have a recreation, a sports program. Every school should have an arts program, should have a cultural program. These are things that motivate children to come to school and teach them about green jobs and solar panels and leadership. Now, it doesn't matter whether it's called public, private, or charter. You do all of that and our children will learn. And we can do all of that in public schools. We don't need a second-tier charter school system.